In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products?
Andrew Goodwin theorised that music videos should demonstrate conventions from that particular genre, as certain features are expected from the audience and should be consistently followed with any music video from that particular genre.
We did our music video to Homemade Dynamite by Lorde, which fits into the pop genre, so we therefore had to be conscious of the genre conventions we should follow, develop or even challenge within our product to make it fit but also stand out.
The real media research conducted before creating our music video helped considerably with understanding these conventions, as we mainly researched female pop artists' music videos to gain an insight into the elements it takes to make a successful media product fit for the genre we chose.
The first video I looked at was the pop music video Paparazzi by Lady Gaga, and that intertwines narrative and performance elements. However, according to Svenny Carlson, it is specifically a commercial exhibitionist video. The video began with an opening narrative in the style of an old movie with credits and a title, which is with it being a thematic video commenting on fame and obsessed culture. And Lady Gaga is shown in various locations within the interior of a mansion to exhibit her fame and wealth. The lighting is predominantly high key, which makes the video come across dreamlike and elusive, and she wears a variety of costumes which are predominantly obscure and weird, which fits with her brand image. Some of those include leather lingerie and an extravagant ruffled jumpsuit, as well as using a wheelchair and crutches as props to accompany these attires. And these varied and unusual outfits contribute to exhibiting her brand identity and are synergetic to other elements of her branding, such as performance costumes and tour posters. It makes her easily recognisable as an artist, and her look is unconventional for typical pop artists and videos. And the recent scene plays a vital role in the video as it exhibits Gaga as an artist while also conveying narrative elements, with an example being the various backup dancers which enhance performance, a male love interest and various models who are used to represent overconsumption of fame.
So I began analysing Lady Gaga's Applause, which is a performance video in the pop genre. The video mirrors her obscure branding, making it stand out against other typical pop performance videos. There are many location and costume changes throughout, which is an important feature of performance video, especially as it isn't a narrative to follow along to, so the visuals are a key element to focus on, which is prominent in the Applause music video. Oh, and as a feature that we adopted when creating ours. Bright colours and interesting lighting is a key convention in the pop genre, reflecting the often upbeat and fast-paced tone of the song. So we felt the visual element could be a more unique and interesting way to express branding image for our artist, which is demonstrated in Applause of all her various personas throughout. This is an important convention to consider when making a music video in the pop genre, as audiences of this genre are typically more invested in the artist as well as the music, as opposed to those for the rock genre example. So keeping that strong presentation of brand image through the music video is a key element to keep the audience invested. Applause fits into Svenny Carlson's commercial exhibitionist category, meaning it focuses solely on selling the artist as a brand. Another convention of pop music videos is evident in my research. This theory explains why Gaga's makeup and styling is extreme and unusual, as the video is more about exhibiting her and a distinctive brand image that she's created. I took from this unique selling point in our own artist brand, and before creating the artist brand image we researched existing artists that fell under the similar category that we were looking into, being female pop alternative artists in their 20s. So we looked into Dua Lipa style as Halsey in 2013 to grasp an idea of what typical branding images were in that genre. Artist branding within a music video is an important convention, so we are able to connect with the artist. We also took into account what people said in our target audience survey and decided on edgy alternative clothing, such as fishnets, glitter, pattern trousers. These are on trend. Most familiar items at the moment, particularly for our target audience of 16 to 24.
So I did 4 music videos from the pop genre and did 1 indie video just to get a few different ideas. I started with Dua Lipa's Hotter Than Hell music video, which is it's a completely performance video. It included Dua Lipa in various locations with interesting lighting choices, which is something that we stole, basically. It included a contrast between low-key and high-key lighting and a disco-style kind of thing. They had projections as well, but they weren't very good. The costumes worn by Dua Lipa in the video contributed to her representation as a fashionable, stylish, edgy kind of artist. These elements seem to be conventional performance music videos, as the mise en scene is even more important if it's just a performance video, because you have to keep it engaging with just the way that it looks, because there's nothing happening. However, another convention of pop performance videos is there to still be narrative element. So in the Hotter Than Hell music video, Dua Lipa is joined by loads of extras that are filmed with and without her that contribute to like a party narrative that they had going on. And then the props within the video were like the disco ball, and there was someone pouring glitter on someone to contribute to the party thing. Overall, the real media research was vital in understanding and deciding what conventions my group and I could use within our music video.
I also looked at a Dua Lipa video, and it was New Rules, and that's a commercial exhibitionist performance video, but it does feature a subtle narrative through the form of character development, which is shown when Dua adopts the rules of how not to get back with her ex that she's been taught by her friends. And the video opens with a neon light font with the artist and the song name, and the majority of the video takes place in the interior of a hotel with it ending outside by a pool. And similarly to Gaga, the lighting was high key, and that's used to make Dua look almost angelic and appealing to the audience. According to Deborah Holdstein, she'd be seen as a fantasy seer or prophet, and her young female audience would look up to her as a strong, independent, empowering woman. And there are also other particular examples that exhibit this, such as when she's walking on water later in the video, which makes her come across like a powerful goddess. And the costumes Dua wears are fairly conventional to most female pop artists and contribute to her representation as a fashionable edgy artist, and also contribute to the image which is seen across all of her music videos. Also, an interesting element of the video is the use of tracking shots as they draw the audience's attention entirely to Dua and allow the subtle low-key narrative to flow and match with the lyrics.
I also looked into Taylor Swift Blank Space, which is a hybrid of performance and narrative. This is an effective approach as it includes that narrative element, presenting like the meaning of the song, however still promoting your artist in a very focal way. The music video for the most part is focused entirely on Taylor, without a few shots featuring her lover, and that sort of like intertwines both like the narrative and performance styles. This is something that we incorporated in our music video with the inclusion of our artist love interest, however in silhouette, not to take the attention off her. This follows Svenny Carlson's theory of types of performance videos, however with our music video intertwining both a performance and conceptual like style. The presentation of our artist could be argued to be both commercial exhibitionist as well as televised bard. A commercial exhibitionist video such as Applause is the most common style of pop videos based on their high profile public image, which is the approach that we took on the majority of our video to present the typical conventions of like female pop performance artists. Throughout the video, Gigi is the focus point of the shot, placed in the centre of the frame, and for the most part only adding depth within the shots through like colour and like lighting projections and stuff that we used. However, with the conceptual nature of our music video, with like inclusion of like the narrative elements, such as like our love interests, televised bard as the sentiment of our song is like Lorde said, meeting someone at a party and like an explosive night follows. So this is another like element conventional in pop music videos, as it features like relatable like events that the audience will be familiar with. So having the love interest in the music video alongside the lyrics referring to him boosts the appeal of our video, as watching it that you have that sort of like storytelling element. Yeah, Blank Space is also a good music video for colour connotations, which is a popular convention of pop music videos, as it adds like a deep layer to like the visuals without taking attention off the artist. So in the video, Taylor is seen flicking between like pure black outfits like amongst white animals. And this kind of takes the idea of like corruption like versus innocence. As Taylor is the subject of the corruption, this is an indicator into her presentation of self. So we adopted this ourselves, an example being like placing red lighting over Gigi over the line Best Lies.
So the second pop music video that I did was by Banks for Gemini Feed, which was another performance video with narrative elements. But Banks's video was also symbolic because she was representing her dominant side and her submissive side. It's kind of the theme of the song.
Nice.
She did this to show an unhealthy relationship that she documents in Gemini Feed. She used visual storytelling in terms of colour connotations, using black to symbolise her power and white to symbolise her innocence. Only Gemini Feed, out of the videos that I looked at, employed any filters or interesting editing choices by having the different alter egos of Banks flash on screen occasionally. So this suggests that the editing of pop music videos is generally quite basic, so this was something that we had to consider when we made her own.
The third female pop video I looked at was Look What You Made Me Do by Taylor Swift, and that's a televised bard performance, and also fits into two of Deborah Holdstein's striking qualities of a star, because Taylor Swift can be seen as the fantasy seer or prophet, but also being a political commentator, as the intertextual video revolves around how Swift mocks the media's portrayal of her. And that's done heavily with the use of mise-en-scene. This is done heavily with the use of mise-en-scene, such as props and costumes, through symbolism. For example, she's seen sitting on the throne of snakes and also standing on the top of a pile of her old personas, and these elements all contribute to Taylor mocking how the media portray her by living up to their lies, and her standing above her old personas is used to show how she's created a new brand image and the old Taylor is gone. And her being seen as like a prophet in the video is evident from her exhibiting her wealth and popularity, such as sitting in a bathtub of expensive jewellery, and her standing in front of an army of female clones, which also puts her in a position of power and authority over the audience and her fans.
Throughout our music video we use a variety of shots, such as like tracking, wide and mid shots, and after watching Sia's Elastic Heart I found this to be an important element, as it keeps the video moving, which is especially important in like pop music videos, as it's like typically fast paced, so you have like a strong rhythm to keep up with, like the upbeat style of the song. So we feature like a range of shots cut to each appropriate beat to have like a rhythmic quality for our media product, making it more professional. This also adds another dimension to the video itself, as a constant movement, which always allows us to showcase the artist in like various locations. That's also a convention. This is also shown in Dua Lipa's Be The One video, where she's seen in like a variety of different locations throughout, with her like changing costume each time. So this is something that we've featured as well, to present Gigi as an outgoing character, exploring many like settings and styles.
Okay, so after I looked at Dua Lipa's mainly performance video and Banks's symbolic video, I looked at Lady Gaga's The Edge of Glory, which is an entirely performance-based video. The video demonstrated the importance of using a variety of shots, because obviously there was no narrative, there was no symbolism, so it relied heavily on shot types. These included close-ups and tracking shots in order to keep the video engaging for the audience. The Edge of Glory fits into Svenny Carlson's commercial exhibitionist category, meaning it focused solely on selling Lady Gaga as a brand, which is another convention of pop music videos evident in my research. This theory explains why Lady Gaga's makeup is extreme and unusual in the video, because the video is much more about exhibiting her as an artist and the distinctive brand image she'd already created by the time she'd released that music video. So The Edge of Glory demonstrated the conventions of using a variety of shot types in music videos, particularly close-ups that introduce the artist, which is particularly important for us because ours was a debut music video, and these are elements that fit quite well with Homemade Dynamite.
The final relevant video that I looked at was by alternative artist Girly for her song Hot Mess, which is predominantly a commercial exhibitionist performance video, but also has elements which could make us consider it to be a televised bard. And this is because the video consists entirely of Girly performing the song and advertising herself to her audience, but also, like Andrew Goodwin states, the lyrics match the visuals, and there are narrative elements to the video, such as her having a meeting with a businessman as the lyrics mock how the music industry doesn't take female artists seriously and how they focus on image rather than talent, with lyrics such as "But all that you can focus on is my makeup and clothes." With Deborah Holdstein in mind, Girly, similar to Taylor Swift, falls under two categories. She's seen as a fantasy seer/prophet, as the video consists of multiple extras sporting her signature look, creating almost a gang which puts her in a position of power and exhibits her influence. However, she's also a political commentator because, as previously mentioned, she mocks and criticises the male-dominated judgmental music industry and takes a stand by challenging it. And the video uses various pace of editing and camera angles which fits with the alternative genre and actively keeps the audience engaged. But the most prominent feature of the music video is Girly's consistent brand image. And the video opens with a pink cartoon style font, and Girly's costume is predominantly pink, which makes her a recognisable artist from her trademark style.
So the final pop video that I analysed was Taylor Swift's Wildest Dreams, which is a narrative video. Swift is the character of her own narrative in this video, which revolves around two actors who fall in love while they're on set in Africa in the 1950s. The theme of love is a very common one in pop music videos, but the idea of female empowerment has always become quite popular recently. Videos like Around the World. Wildest Dreams exemplifies how to use visual storytelling and demonstrate Andrew Goodwin's ideas about the visuals matching the lyrics. For example,
He's so bad, but he does it so well.
it's also notable that all 4 music videos match the cuts and edits to the beat of the song, which is another idea that Andrew Goodwin had. Furthermore, only one of the 4 pop music videos that I analysed had titles in the beginning, which was Wildest Dreams. Anyway, to conclude, analysing Wildest Dreams helped me to see how narratives can be created based on lyrics, but considering the huge budget that music video must have had, it seems unrealistic that we could copy something like that that's so narrative based and so nice. So we decided that a performance video with various shot types with well thought out mise-en-scene and stuff would be a better idea for us, based on our combined efforts of the research and planning.
Overall, the real media research was vital in understanding and deciding what conventions my group and I could use within our music video. And Lady Gaga's Paparazzi and Girlie's Hot Mess showed how important the brand image is when representing an artist. Whether it's having like an obscure and specific image that makes like an artist stand out, or just a style that's conventional to the genre that will appeal to the target audience. With both of them and Dua Lipa's newer rules, they showed us how mise-en-scene needs to be engaging within performance videos, because you need to be able to keep the audience's attention, but also brought to our attention how narrative elements can be intertwined with performance, which is what we did in our actual music video. Taylor Swift's Look What You Made Me Do was more of a controversial video, and one that we'd be unable to replicate without that kind of budget. However, it was interesting in the sense that it contained a lot of symbolism, which we attempted to mimic in our own video. In terms of cinematography, we wanted to use a wide range of shots similarly to Girlie's Hot Mess video, because we didn't want the audience to get bored of our like predominantly performance video, so we particularly wanted to incorporate stuff like the tracking shots, like in New Rules, as it provides more action for the video and breaks up the use of static shots and also engages the audience with the artist. And once we'd combined all of our research, we decided that the performance video with various shot types and well thought out mise-en-scene and narrative elements was the best idea and the most realistic choice.
One of the main pieces of inspiration for a music video was Dua Lipa's Be The One, particularly her use of like After Effects, as that video is also commercial exhibitionist pop performance video, so it felt fitting to incorporate some of like the editing styles inspired by that, as we knew it would be a convention and would also fit with our media piece. So we sort of added like ghosting and mirroring, which accentuates our artist in the frame, reinforcing the idea of that commercial exhibitionist music video, as it draws further attention solely to our artist.
So in conclusion, Dua Lipa's Hotter Than Hell music video showed me how mise-en-scene needs to be engaging within performance videos, but also how narrative elements can be intertwined with performance ones. Gemini Feed, while it was interesting, it contained a lot of symbolism, but it would be kind of difficult to follow that kind of idea with a song like Homemade Dynamite, which is quite light-hearted compared to the topic of Gemini Feed. The Edge of Glory demonstrated the conventions of performance pop music videos with a use of variety of shot types and particularly close-ups and tracking shots to provide a bit more action to things. These are elements that fit well with Homemade Dynamite. Finally, when analysing Wildest Dreams, it helped me to see how narratives can be created based on lyrics, but considering the huge budget of the video, it would be difficult for my group to replicate something like that effectively.
This decision led us to creating the music video with lighting as the most key element of mise-en-scene, with spotlights and projections being utilised, and those lighting choices can be compared to other pop videos like Halsey's Ghost and Ariana Grande's Dangerous Woman. And the bright colours of the lighting were a conventional feature of pop videos that we employed, and we felt would be most visually appealing for our audience. As a group, we thought that a conventional performance video would be most suitable to introduce Gigi to an audience. Our research suggested that the narrative elements make things less repetitive and the video more interesting, and these elements included having a love interest present when he was mentioned within the lyrics. The extras also helped to create a party narrative similar to the Hotter Than Hell video, although the extras were only ever in the background within our video, and the party narrative is very popular within pop videos, being used in others like Taylor Swift's 22, although it's less prominent in ours.
But the only prop that we included in our music video was the sparklers, which are also seen in Rihanna's We Found Love music video, just to give an example from the pop genre, and it's also in Paramore's Still Into You music video, which falls into the pop rock genre, so this indicates that it's generally quite a conventional and a popular prop to use. It was also particularly relevant in ours because it's a symbolism of the lyrics. Also, the overall styling of our artist was very much influenced by that of Dua Lipa, particularly in the Be The One and Hotter Than Hell music videos, as we mentioned before. This influence comes from, for example, the mesh top she wears in both the videos, and the red jacket that she wears in Hotter Than Hell, which isn't unlike the one that Maddie wears in the outside scenes with the sparklers. This edgy style is another convention that we chose to follow, as it represents Gigi as fashionable, which is a sellable characteristic to our female teenage target audience. However, one element of the styling that we didn't get from Dua Lipa was the use of the glitter. The best example of this within a pop music video is Kesha's We Are Who We Are, but this one is a little bit extreme. Frank Ocean also uses glitter makeup in his Nike's music video, but this video doesn't fall into the pop genre, so it's hard to make comparisons to ours. But having Gigi wearing makeup at all was quite a conventional choice though, because that's what most female artists do nowadays. Finally, although none of the videos that I researched use these effects, we chose to include mirroring, ghosting and overlapping editing technique.
These are visually similar to Beyonce's 1+1 and Calvin Harris's How Deep Is Your Love music videos, but aren't that typical of pop music videos. However, the overall editing pace does fit in with the editing conventions of ours. Our use of close-ups and long shots was another convention we followed, although we avoided point of view shots like the one in Walk the Moon's Shut Up and Dance music video, despite them being conventional, because we didn't really feel they contributed enough to the overall action of the video. Other elements of iconography we also didn't include were proper choreography, like Jennifer Lopez's dancing in Get Right, or in exotic locations such as the house in Demi Lovato's music video Sorry Not Sorry, because we were content with Gigi's more candid dancing, and we had to rule out any exotic locations when we decided the use of spotlights and projections. This could only be achieved in like certain places with like correct technology.